Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations until the four-legged tabernacle of David scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. I just want to, before I even play this news clip, I want to start off with this precept right here. This is in the Amplified Bible. This is from Prophet Zephaniah in the third chapter in the 5th verse. The Lord is righteous within her. He will do no injustice. Every morning he brings his justice to light. He does not fail, but the unjust person knows no shame. So, it never fails. Or the Most High has a 100% successful rate when it comes to righteous judgment. Now, there's been getting headlines all day where this so-called gang leader, all right, known by the name of Big U, if you're from the West, if you're from California, you be familiar with that name. He earned his name, off the streets, doing street activities, get into, street shit. He ended up doing a bid, got out, and I guess he tried to turn his life around, but of course couldn't escape, that whole atmosphere, that environment. He couldn't shake his old ways, and it came upon him. But, when he tried to change his life, and he tried to go into the music industry and become like a manager and he tried to basically get into the music business and manage artists. He couldn't separate the street mentality. He tried to, change by going the Islamic route. All right. And that's typical, right? Every so-called gangster, anytime they try to, flee from the atmosphere and the mentality, they run straight to Allah, the false deity. So this guy was a part-time Muslim / part-time community activist / part-time OG Crip, gang leader, who was extorting rappers that came into town. He was extorting athletes, ball players, etc. You would basically have to pay a tab if you want to be protected up under this man and his street gang, his organization. So, he would use that and have these athletes, giving them bread so that they can move around safely in LA. And, all these things, people in the streets of LA, they already knew. All right. It was, when stuff like that is talked about all around the streets, then you already know the feds are definitely watching. They're definitely lurking. And it doesn't make it any better when a lot of these guys, they like to go on the internet and, air out their own criminal activities. They put out their own business, which is the most dumbest thing that you can do. But, it was in due time that this was going to happen. All right. You had, what's the rapper name, where he finally went down because, he conspired to, contracted murders. He hired men to go out and do some killings. And now he's no longer in the limelight, and now he's in prison. So Jake, all they learn is just that criminal element that's all around him. showing you that our people are totally they're totally gone. They're spaced out. The scriptures say my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Completely destroyed. And this is part of why the Lord has a controversy with our people. Matter of fact, let me get that in Hosea the 4th chapter. And this is in the NLT. This is Hosea 4. And when it says, hear the word of the Lord, O people of Israel. The Lord has brought charges against you, saying there is no faithfulness, no kindness, no knowledge of the Most High in your land. And this is how you know we're not in a new covenant, by the way. Because our people, they have no clue, they have no knowledge of their higher power. That's why they, walk around, like wild bulls in the net, just, causing havoc, being a nuisance, being a menace to their own environment, terrorizing their own people. That whole gang culture, which, man, I hated, having to witness, growing up around it. I had to see it and witness it and be around it every day. And I never understood it, is why I never joined or was ever a part of that, whole culture. Because believe it or not, it's definitely a culture in LA, in California. All right. And it was so influential that it spread throughout Babylon, to where you got the gangs that started in LA in various cities all across Babylon throughout the states. And then you had the one guy, all right, the Barabbas, okay, the chief priest, who tried to bridge that gap in the truth between being an Israelite and being in these damn gangs, which is a big no. None of the two go together. You would completely denounce that lifestyle and you would hate it and have nothing to do with it, have no parts of it. You would not be still representing any of that in this truth. And that's what that guy did. And now look where he's at. Anyway, because the reason why I mentioned the new covenant, because the scriptures say that the new covenant, that no Israelite will have to teach his fellow brother, saying, know the Lord. For all will know the Heavenly Father. So we will all have knowledge of the Most High. But right now, 2/3 of them, they know not the Most High. All right. So continuing on, it says, you make vows and break them. You kill and steal and commit adultery. And that's what goes on heavy in these street gangs. All right. As the scripture says, no honor, well, slakia, not the scriptures. It's a saying, there's no honor among thieves. Right. So these dudes, they click up and they come together like they're a big unit, but there's no true love. There's no true, mercy. There's no structure. None of that within these gangs. Everybody's looking out for self. Everybody will snake each other, and they'll definitely pop your woman. Let y'all go commit a crime together, and the other one don't do any time, or he gets out earlier than you. If he ever knew who your woman was and she was from the neighborhood, he finna go and pay her a visit while you still locked up. You got a baby mama that's out and you locked up behind a robbery, a lick that you just hit, and one of your homies is getting off up in her. That happens a lot, amongst these gang members. So this is what happens. They kill, they murder each other, they steal, or they're going to rob people and commit adultery. And dudes get put in the dirt over these little sluts in the neighborhood, these little hood rats. It says there is violence everywhere, one murder after another. And man, all of the amount of bodies, caused by street violence because of these street gangs. Man, oh man. If you was to tally up all those bodies, man. But this is all just a result of Jake being under the curse. Jake having that evil eye towards each other. All right. So anyway, so basically this is what's going on with this guy, Big U, all right, which his real name is Eugene Henley. All right, this dude even got documentaries on his life, but now he's going down. All right, and when the feds come to get you, you better believe they're usually 99% from the free throw. So they hardly ever miss with their legal evidence before they go for somebody and can them. Once they get everything that they need, once enough time then went by and they didn't, had all type of documentation, they didn't searched out all the content on the internet. And you niggas always post your own business to the web. You might even have informants around you. And that's what happens too within these gangs. You got a bunch of informants. They'll give you up just so that they can have some form of immunity. Or if they committed a crime, they'll become an informant to reduce their own time. And it makes some kind of deal. So, it's all corruption. So this dude had it coming, man. And right now, several videos are popping up where I guess he was on his way to turning himself in because they were saying earlier that he was a fugitive. He was on a run. But he was on his way to turning himself in, and he made a few videos and wasn't trying to take no accountability. He was blaming it on other people. People putting their business out and, dudes being feds and being around them and snitching on them and all that. Man, hey, you do the crime, you now you got to do the time. All this is judgment, all right? Justice for all the wrongdoing that you're guilty for. So I'm going to play this little news segment and then we'll get a few precepts and close out.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Annabelle Sedano. A big announcement from federal authorities today about the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips gang in South LA. Detectives have arrested multiple people, but they're still looking for others. NBC4's Alex Rosier joins us live from downtown LA with the latest. Alex.
Annabelle, yes, the feds have arrested a number of people, accused Rollin 60s gang members who they say are connected to this crime ring. But today they talked a whole lot about one man who they say is a longtime leader of the Rollin 60s gang, a man they are still looking for right now, Eugene Henley Jr. Federal prosecutors say Eugene Henley Jr. is a longtime leader.
And there's going to be another free Barabbas moment for Jake. Because this dude, he was hood famous. Celebrities knew who this dude was. Because he was extorting a good number of them. All right. So now that he's getting canned and, it's a possibility that dude ain't going to see the light of day again, especially because this dude is damn near 60 years old. So the type of numbers they're going to throw at him for being involved in all this, that dude, he more than likely ain't coming back. So you're going to have another free Barabbas moment with Jake. Free Big U. That's what you're going to see. Just like when that dude Big Meech went and got locked down. For running that criminal enterprise, the BMF. Now all of a sudden, now they his name is being ran through the mud. All right, because they saying that the dude is an informant, but that dude did 20 years or whatever. And you had Rick Ross. He came out with a song, I think I'm Big Meech, and it became an anthem. So Jake, they like to glorify the worst of the worst. All right, they love to justify the wicked and condemn the just, because they'll speak down on the prophets, the men of the Lord. They'll scoff us and look down upon us, but they'll exalt demons like this, the big Meeches, the big U's, whoever else, man.
Leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips gang, but in recent years he's worked in entertainment and run a youth charity that the acting U.S. attorney now says was a front for his criminal enterprise.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles. The facts alleged in the complaint.
So he was basically like a dissembler. 1 minute, he's playing this community a leader role. He got these football leagues for the kids. He got these youth programs. He probably got a program with LAPD. So it looked like this guy was on the good path, trying to redeem his image. But behind all that, he was still reverting back to his old ways. Basically, he was still him. Hey, you could fool a man, but you can't fool Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Eventually, you get scoped out, found out, and brought to judgment. Yahweh Shai said it best. Nothing secret that shall not be made manifest. So,
paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar.
Henley Jr. is now a fugitive.
And all these gang members move the same way. All right. The scriptures tell you about our people's track record. This is what they were doing for the longest. And you wonder why we are where we are, We're still under that curse. This is Ezekiel 22. Yep. This is Ezekiel 22 and verse 12. It says, there are hired murderers. And all gangs got hired murderers. Somebody that's willing to be a crash dummy for a bag. You put a bag on somebody's head, a bounty, and they'll go and chip you off so that they can get that money. What's that dude that got killed in Memphis? That rapper, a Young Dolph. They found a dude who actually hired the killers that killed them. And I think he ended up getting put to death. The dude who actually hired the murderers of Young Dolph, he got put to death. So yeah, this is a common thing. All right, there are hired murderers. Lil Durk, he had hired murderers, right, to get vengeance killings over a serial killer, a serial murderer that he used to run with, who got gunned down. That whole drill scene in Chicago. Lone racketeers and extortioners everywhere. Basically committing usury and extorting people. This is what they do. And that becomes a criminal enterprise. And this is the type of things that you'll do because you love money. The scriptures say that the love of money is the root of all evil. All right. So this is what the love of money will cause. It says they never even think of me and my commands, says the sovereign Lord. Yeah, our people, they don't think of a higher power. They just do what their hearts desire. It says, but now I clap my hands in indignation over your dishonest gain and bloodshed. How strong and courageous will you be in my day of reckoning? I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will do what I said. And the Lord, he doesn't play, man. So let me go from there to Ecclesiastes 8, because, a lot of so-called gangsters, just because, they'll be around for a while doing their dirt and ain't been caught, they think that it's all good, that they'll never be caught, or that nothing will ever come down the pipe. So this is Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. It says, when a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong. And that's majority of criminals. That's exactly their mindset until they finally get caught. And if it's a slap on the wrist, they're gonna get back out and they're gonna continue the same crimes. All right, they get accustomed to that. So usually that's why the Most High, he had it in his law that before you can even raise a criminal, if that child show those signs by being stubborn and rebellious, basically a child of Belial, what was commanded, you would bring that child before the elders in front of all the city, and the parents would grab him up to bring him to be stoned in front of everyone, to put away evil from Israel. But obviously that doesn't go on, because Jake is completely, they're completely gone. The Lord said, why should I strike you anymore? For you will revolt more and more. This is a rebellious people. They're totally revolted and gone. So it says, but even though a person sins 100 times and still lives a long time, I know that those who fear the Most High will be better off. The wicked will not prosper, for they do not fear the Most High. Their days will never grow long like the evening shadows. All right. So it doesn't always end well for these types. They in their heyday, they're feared, they're respected, they got all this money. They got, a bunch of women, they got, baby mamas. This dude had multiple homes, multiple luxurious vehicles. And that's how they'll be living until they finally get judged. So this dude, he wants everybody's prayers. Ain't nobody finna pray for you, homeboy. Maybe the free Barabbas, Jakes, because all they know is street culture. That's all they learn to respect is negativity. Our people are very they're backwards. So right now Esau's putting away all the evil, That's how this is a good thing when Esau does this. Get all these niggas up off the street, man. So that people don't have to get robbed and extorted, murdered. Get them up out of here. We will not lift up a cry nor a prayer for these people.
The feds say he committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper.
Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed.
All those things that they are saying that he's guilty of, all listed in Ezekiel 22 that I just read. Are people that they have not, they're still who they are to this day. And this is why we've been in trouble for so long. But that's all right though, because Jacob's trouble is going to be the last time period where Jake is gonna definitely get the punishment of their trouble. All right, it's gonna be the worst ass whipping Jake has ever felt and ever experienced. And he's only gonna bring his elect through it.
His label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway.
And investigators say he committed crimes while running his charity Developing Options. The nonprofit, seen here on its website, works with groups like the Crenshaw Rams youth football team and brands itself as a group that gives underprivileged kids options beyond gang violence. And now he's accused of taking money meant for that group.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and
The criminal complaint says since about 2015, Developing Options has received millions of dollars from the city of LA's GRID program. From that, the court documents say Henley has drawn hundreds of thousands of dollars for his salary.
that on the one hand, he's, Mr. Charity, and on the other hand, he's engaging in all this criminal conduct.
Today, the FBI also arrested several other accused Rolling 60s gang members they say are tied to this crime ring.
4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. During this investigation, we recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash.
The FBI said the Rolling 60s gang is among the largest in the country, and now they are searching for who they say is one of the gang's longtime leaders, Eugene Henley Jr. If convicted of the federal racketeering charges, Henley Jr. faces a potential 20-year prison sentence. But again, he's a fugitive on the run right now. You're asked to contact the FBI if you know about his whereabouts.
So hey, good for him and anybody involved, especially if you're guilty. All right, now we know Esau, they're criminals themselves. They're the biggest gangsters there is. The Bidens, all right, Fauci, all these criminals. You got a bunch of war criminals, big pharma criminal. They all are a bunch of criminals, and that's why the Mossad got a separate sentence for them. 1,000 years is their sentence. So right now, this is their world. So, they got the Cain immunity set up. Can't nobody take vengeance upon Cain without vengeance getting back to him. So, right now, the focus is on Jake. Jake do something wicked, they're going to punish them to the fullest extent. All right. And that's why in this society, you just got to do what's right, man. And really, if you walking in this in the spirit, all right, you're a believer and you walking in the spirit, then all you're gonna do is right. That people have no evil thing to say about you. All right. This is Romans 13, and I'm gonna read verse 3, and I'm gonna read down to like. I'll start at 3, and I'm gonna read down to like verse 6. It says, "For the authorities do not strike fear in people who are doing right, but in those who are doing wrong. They're gonna be on you as long as you're doing wrong, and they're gonna be on your ass if for years you just been doing dirt and thinking that you're getting away with it, and you don't think that ain't nobody nearby with wiretaps. You don't think that there ain't no unmarked undercover vehicles parked down the street at the corner. They're gonna be on you, man. With all this surveillance technology, it's easy. Social media made it that much more easier. All right, for the feds, for the CIA, and Jake's still dumb enough to incriminate themselves. It says, but in those who are doing wrong, would you like to live without fear of the authorities? Do what is right, and they will honor you. The authorities are the Most High's servants, sent for your good. But if you are doing wrong, of course you should be afraid. For they have the power to punish you, whether it's to put your ass to death or whether it's to, put your ass in the can, lock you away. It says they are God's servants sent for the very purpose of punishing those who do what is wrong. So, hey, do no wrong and you won't fear the consequences, man. Which is usually, in that lifestyle, is either prison or death. So I'm gonna end off right there. Hey, justice was served. That's all that was, man. Every morning do the Lord bring his judgment to light. So with that, I'm gonna give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Shalom.